Although MRC units operate locally by responding to disasters in your hometown, we may be called upon to assist in other parts of Pennsylvania during a disaster. Some examples from other states include Hurricane Sandy in New York and a 2014 measles outbreak in Ohio. These areas brought in volunteers from around their states to facilitate the response. Hello, I'm TRACEY MATISAK for the Medical Reserve Corps, or MRC. Thank you for considering a multiple-day volunteer assignment away from home. This video focuses specifically on intrastate deployments, which means your local MRC unit is sending volunteers to another jurisdiction outside of your immediate area to another location in Pennsylvania. For volunteers in southeastern Pennsylvania, this could mean travel to Harrisburg, Pittsburgh, or Erie, wherever help is needed. Pennsylvania is vulnerable to many types of disasters that could warrant statewide MRC activation. Volunteer planning has focused on scenarios that involve one part of the Commonwealth while sparing others. Emergency response to a terrorist attack, severe weather event, or large-scale infectious disease outbreak will likely exceed a jurisdiction's local capacity. This video will review several main concepts about this different type of deployment and give you the information you need to respond appropriately and safely. The main topics you will learn about in this video include deployment expectations, how to let us know you are available and willing to deploy, potential transportation and lodging options, how we make assignments and determine what you will be doing in another jurisdiction, and debriefing and demobilization procedures. A long-term deployment refers to any deployment that requires a volunteer to travel to the affected region or response location and stay overnight. Typically, these deployments involve volunteers traveling by bus to a jurisdiction other than their home jurisdiction. Volunteers may experience out-of-the-ordinary conditions on these unique deployments. Changes may include who your supervisor is, the scope of your duties, lodging, and where you get your meals. This is an opportunity for units to come together, working side by side to assist others in need. All MRC volunteers in Pennsylvania are registered in ServePA, our volunteer registry website. Being registered in ServePA helps to provide some legal protections for volunteers. If volunteers are needed for a deployment, you will receive a message using the ServePA system. This message will reach you via the methods you have selected in your ServePA profile. These might include email, text messaging, and voice phone calls. The ServePA message may direct you to complete a web-based form to determine your dates of availability and relevant qualifications. Response organizers will contact you, likely by email, with specific dates for your deployment based on your availability. This message may also contain a date and time for you to report to a rally point near your home where you can board provided transportation, such as buses, for cross-state travel. Additional instructions will also be provided about what to bring with you. Depending on the pace of the response, you may receive your specific job assignment in this message, or that may not be determined until you arrive at a reception center in the disaster-affected region. When you are deployed, you will receive contact information for supervisors located both in your home jurisdiction and who will be traveling with you. Depending on the circumstances, the MRC may provide transportation from your jurisdiction or from a rally point to the disaster-affected region. Rally points are designated locations where responders congregate to receive briefings and board transportation to a further rally point or a reception center in the disaster-affected region. Modes of transport from a rally point could include buses, trains, airplanes, and personal vehicles. Volunteers may be directed to local rally points within your county, or there may be one central regional rally point. These decisions are made by response organizers based on the resources available. At a rally point, you can expect to check in, participate in a situational briefing, review the code of conduct for volunteers, receive applicable equipment, and be assigned to a vehicle for further transport. Your personal vehicle can be left at the rally point in a secure parking lot for the duration of your deployment. In the disaster-affected region, arriving volunteers will be directed to a local or regional reception center. When you arrive at the reception center, you will register with the response command, receive any necessary pre-response training, and receive more information on your assigned lodging, worksite, and responsibilities. You'll be able to ask questions and meet your response teammates there. Lodging will be handled by the receiving jurisdiction and assigned at the reception center. MRC unit coordinators will do their best to give details about the lodging prior to deployment, including electricity and amenities, so volunteers can be prepared. If you have lodging requirements, be sure to contact your unit leader in advance to determine if those needs can be met. Volunteers will be provided transportation from their lodging to their work sites for each shift. If you have a personal emergency and need to leave, inform your on-site supervisor or team leader to arrange for transportation home. MRC volunteers will support the public health response for the duration of the incident or for as long as their services are needed. Debriefing should occur after each shift. This will likely occur via a survey or conference call with the MRC coordinator. Depending on the incident, demobilization may include a mental and physical health assessment. We encourage volunteers to be aware of their physical and mental health needs while responding. Report any injuries or stressful situations as soon as possible to the on-site manager or unit coordinator. For demobilization, MRC volunteers should ensure the following: that all assigned activities are completed, if additional assistance is required, that all issued equipment and supplies are returned and accounted for, and that the volunteer checked out at the end of his or her shift before leaving the scene or site. A statewide mobilization of disaster volunteers is both a challenge and an opportunity. Such a situation demands flexibility and professionalism and requires the goodwill of volunteers such as you. Thank you for taking the time to help Pennsylvania be better prepared, and thanks for watching.